It's an honor and a privilege to be here, to be one of the speakers of today's final webinar, of SG60 series. So I would like to, at this juncture, introduce my former mentor, Adeline Tiah. Okay, so she's a leader with over 25 years, navigating tech giants like Hewlett-Packard, M1, leading banks, including HSBC, UOB, and Standard Chartered. Now, Adeline didn't just climb the corporate ladder, she reinvented it. She made the bold move from all the C-suite level, chief marketing officer to change management officer, staying at the forefront of what's next. As an author of Reinvent 4.0, Adeline has turned her insights into practical frameworks and an online masterclass that's helping organizations navigate the massive shifts in how we work and lead in the age of AI. Today, Adeline partners with organizations to help leaders find the sweet spot between high-performing teams and psychological safety. Let's welcome her as she shares the leadership playbook that delivers business ROI for your organization. Adeline Tiah, founder of Coach.ai, let's all put our hands together for her.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Caroline, for the introduction. Let me do a share screen now. A very good morning, everyone. I'm sure of late, many of you are bombarded by news of layoffs, disruptions, organizations cutting costs to drive productivity. And leaders are feeling the anxiety of how to navigate this complexity. Let me ask all of you here who is attending this webinar, how many of you here are feeling the anxiety already, reading about all this news? You can type your response on the chat. But this morning, in this session, I'm going to share insights on the shifting business landscapes and what it meant for organizations like yours and how leaders can reinvent the way they lead. But first, let me share with you a startling statistic. According to PwC's latest global CEO survey, 42% of CEOs believe that their company will not be around the next 10 years without reinvention. And this is from the data. And we have Sam Altman, who said, I think we will see the first billion one-person company in the near future, by Sam Altman. And indeed, more organizations are achieving more with less employees. We know that AI is a catalyst for change, but let's take a look at how is this shifting the current business landscape and what, as individuals and as leaders, what we need to do and reinvent to stay ahead. Let's talk about the shifting business landscape. The first one, unprecedented disruptions, digital transformation, the economic volatility that's caused by the ongoing geopolitical tariff wars, and the changing workforce expectations are reshaping how businesses operate. And of course, with this, there's mounting uncertainty because leaders do not know how to navigate this complexity while maintaining team cohesion and performance. And these also leads compounded by the performance pressure in organizations as CEOs now need to meet the shareholders' expectations. The demand for agility and resilience has never been greater. And traditional management approaches are proving inadequate. So with all this shifting business landscape, which we're all familiar with, right? What are the wicked problems that organizations experience today? In my conversations with leaders, these are the top three problems that organizations face. Low psychological safety. When there is retrenchment that's happening out there, the people who is left in the organization will be wondering whether they'll be next on the line. This leads to low psychological safety, motivational engagement crisis, and conflict and tensions as people become more cautious and constantly watching their back and protecting their turfs. And the ultimate impact, low-performing teams. This is a paradox because organizations are restructuring to be leaner and more effective and hoping to achieve better performance. And the irony is all these changes is resulting in low-performing teams. How should leaders reinvent the way they lead? What is the solution to this? So I'm going to share with you the leadership playbook, how leaders can transform organization performance through conscious conversation. AI will drive transformation, but human connections will drive innovations. And innovations is what is needed for organizational success. And talking about conscious conversations, organizations are a network of conversations. We all paid, regardless of what our roles are, we are paid to have conversations. We communicate to drive change, to inspire action, to engage stakeholders, build trust and engagement. Yet, when we spend so much time communication, we are not thinking about how we communicate. So today, I'm going to share with you a framework to solve these wicked problems, transforming unconscious to conscious communication. It is not about changing who you are, but about being fluid in your communication. This is an evidence-based framework that I work with my clients all the time. And the key outcome of this solution is to help organizations achieve a sweet spot between high-performing team and psychological safety. Because I have always been approached by organizations to help them build high-performing team. But high-performing team cannot exist without psychological safety. So let's dive straight into this framework that will help you build the verbal strategies to lead more effectively. This is what I call the Soundwave, an evidence-based framework, which comprises of 3 categories of voices: ask, suggest, and tell. And there are 9 voices here. And I'm going to share with you the breakdown of these voices. And when you use them skillfully, what is the outcome that you can achieve? And if you use it passively or overusing it, what is the outcome that you will experience? Let's take a look at this range of voices. Because of a lack of time, I'm just going to share with you 2 examples. If you look at this chart here, we have the ask, suggest, and tell voices. Let's take a look at articulate. How many of you have been in meetings when you are asked to present a case or to introduce yourself? Someone will go on and on and on nonstop. So instead of creating influence by speaking concisely, the person ends up switching people off. This is an example of an unskillful use of articulate. When used skillfully, you create influence, but unskillfully results in verbosity and people switch off. Let's take a look at another one, correct. I've coached many leaders, and leaders who have been in organizations for 10 or 15 years think that they know what it takes and that they have walked the path. So they often tell their staff what to do, and they've often correct their staff. But with good intention, but without realizing that when they do so, they're actually punishing their employees or their colleagues. Imagine if you have a colleague or a boss who keeps on telling you to correct you all the time. You feel punished. And what is the impact of feeling punished? People will no longer be creative. They'll be thinking, if my boss keeps on correcting me, then what's the point of me coming up with new ideas? I will just do what he or she tells me to do. So this may sound intuitive, but the whole idea about the sound wave is to give you a range of specific vocabulary to help you create awareness of how you can skillfully use a different range of voices. And what is it when you use skillfully? What is the impact you could create? And when you use it unskillfully, what is the negative impact you create for the organizations or people around you and the work culture? So these are the 2 examples I could share with you. Just to recap, when you want to engage, this is the range of voice. You inquire, probe, or diagnose. You enable people to think solutions and possibilities, feel engaged, and act in line with their thinking. Coaches uh, naturally like to ask questions, but when you over ask, people may find that you are very interrogative. So how do you use it skillfully? This is what I work with my clients on. And when you want to influence, use a suggest voice, which is articulate, advise, and advocate. You enable people to think broadly, feel involved, and act participatively. And you want to shape or drive change, you tell. But this category of voice is actually socially risky because when you over-critique, correct, over-challenge, people may think that you are attacking them. But if used skillfully, you enable people to think with clarity, feel respected, and act in line with your expectations. This is a simple framework, but it's evidence-based. And this is a summary for you. So are your leaders effective in getting their message across to drive high-performing team and psychological safety? Here are the 3 ways you can work with me and my team. At the individual level, leadership and high potential coaching for leaders and aligning them to the business priorities and career aspirations. At the team level, I'm a certified team coach. I work with teams to build team engagements, which is the number 1 skills that drive business revenue. Because when you have team engagements, you drive innovation, and innovation is critical for organization success. And of course, I have targeted and intentional practice with Coach Eddie AI, an AI tool that I've developed and trained on the frameworks I'm certified in to help my clients ensure that learning sticks. At the organizational level, I work with organizations to drive change and create a common language and actions across different functions. Having said that, let me share with you an example of a journey that I've curated for some of my clients. It is a curated learning journey that's sustainable, a phased approach over 3 to 9 months. Some clients come to me for a 1 or 2 day workshop. We know that a 2-day workshop is not going to drive change. So I take a phased approach for some of my major clients. Firstly, self-awareness. Development comes only after self-awareness. I administer evidence-based assessment, help them unpack and uncover blind spots. And at phase 2, that's when I have stackable skills training and learning support with CoachEddie.ai, turning insights into actions. And finally, working with the organization to drive change across functions and to create a common language to impact the change. I make sure that my journey I partner with clients to make sure that there is measurement at the end of the 6 to 9 months to ensure that we can measure success. So why do you want to work with us? My programs are stackable. I have tailored intervention for clients with different needs. I'm certified in DSIC, Gallup Strength, and Soundwave, and I've got a community of coaches in this space. My programs are evidence-based, grounded in neuroscience, psychology, and organizational research, ensuring that interventions that deliver lasting change. And it's sustainable because we know that after a 1 or 2 day workshops, work gets into the way and people forget what they learned. So I have developed a Coach AI, train it on the frameworks I'm certified in, and make it accessible to participants after the workshop to ensure that they get to practice what they learn. And of course, I have access to tech-enabled solutions to ensure that learning is experiential, because we know that the best learning comes from experiential learning. Making learning sticks. Coach Eddie AI can help my clients overcome leadership obstacles and build winning teams. They get to practice and perfect high-stakes conversations, like what I've just shared earlier, transform assessment results into actionable strengths, and expose blind spots, blocking the client's progress. And of course, I have access to to a multiplayer tech-enabled immersive program to help my clients deepen learning through team forging. Due to time constraint, I can't show the video here, but do scan the QR code and reach out to me if you want to find out more. The key outcome that I'm trying to drive for clients is to achieve a sweet spot between high-performing team and psychological safety. Given the current landscape where there's high pressure for performance, there is a need for psychological safety. And why I do what I do? Having spent 25 years in corporate leadership roles, I watch what works and what doesn't. And now I lean in on my experience to do what I do. I care about leaders losing good talent because I've been there. Teams not being able to speak freely without being judged. I have been there too. Conflicts and tensions that stifles innovation and growth. And organizations and professionals who fail to reinvent to stay relevant. I have been in organizations in tech and financial industry, the two industry that's highly disrupted. And I know that organizations who fail to reinvent to stay relevant will cause disruptions. I've evolved to a change management officer. Today, I work with leaders to build psychological safety and high-performing culture. I help leaders create capacity to think more innovatively and lead better. And the people I've impacted comes from different industries, from FMCG, banking, tech, education sector, and healthcare. And finally, if you want to find out more, do connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you for listening.